up, Watch fam? Happy Monday, and welcome to this week's episode of RANT&H. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're going to be diving into my thoughts on the prospective new releases from Rolex at this year's Basel World Fair. Let's do it. Before we jump into one of the most exciting conversations all year, it's Rolex, it's the biggest brand in the world, and it's what's going to happen next. We'll do a quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing, of course, appropriately, a Rolex, a reference 1601. This is an unpolished example, a truly a mint watch, safe clean, honestly, in solid 18 karat yellow gold. These solid gold Datejust were super underappreciated for a long time. I think they're still underappreciated, but not to the disgusting extent that they were. They are rarer, and they are, in many ways, to many collectors, more interesting because they are uncommon than the Day-Date brothers. So that's my spiel. And today marks just 1 week left to pre-order your Spring Bar Tool t-shirt, a limited release by Theo and Harris in a beautiful navy blue Supima cotton. They are the best quality cotton shirts in the world. There is no question. I think that the Spring Bar Tool is so iconic. It's irreversibly, set at the bedrock of the watch fam. So for me, it's super cool to wear on a t-shirt. So go ahead and pre-order yours now at theoandharris.com. The link is in the description. Okay, so now the topic at hand. What is Rolex going to release, and what do I think about people's guesses? First, of course, nothing has been confirmed yet. So anything we're about to say here is speculation. Now, albeit very well-founded speculation that comes from, real authorities, not just, someone that doesn't know anything about Rolex. I mean, I personally think that these guesses are very close to what will happen this week at Baselworld. And if not, then, hey, we took a shot and had some awesome conversation. So number one, there's quite a bit of rumor circulating about a white Rolex Explorer I, which would be insane. This is what it's dummied up to look like. Of course, it's the same classic Rolex Explorer dial configuration, the sporty Arabic luminous numerals, this time as opposed to white on a black dial, or black on the white dial. I believe this is the 39 millimeter case, if I'm not incorrect. And why I think this is such an interesting watch is because I look at watches and releases really from the lens of someone who has quite a bit of understanding of the history of these brands, particularly Rolex. And although many people, a little bit more novice people, that haven't read as much, are going to say, that's just a dial change. That's just a color, and it's not true to Rolex Explorers. You're almost right, but almost right only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So you're wrong. Rolex actually did manufacture a white or polar or snow white Explorer under the reference 6610, this watch, and it was offered for sale by Christie's in 2013. The price realized was $171,000 US, which was just a little bit higher than their pre-sale estimates of 10 to 15,000. I mean, which is kind of lame. You knew that watch was going to bring in $100,000. And frankly, the watch market is nothing like it was in 2013. I mean, if that watch came up today at Phillips, I have very little doubt that watch would break $500,000. Frankly, more than that. It's an extremely important vintage Rolex. Probably a piece unique. I mean, that's just exciting. So that is the Explorer rumor. But we're also catching some rumors about some evolution or some change-ups in the Rolex GMT line. Every watch geek and their mother is praying for a steel Pepsi bezel GMT. Unfortunately, I don't think that will happen. It's typical Rolex fashion to beat around the bush for years before giving everyone what they really want. The same thing happened with the Rolex Daytona. Watch geeks of the highest order had been begging for what is now known as the ceramic Daytona for like a decade. And Rolex knew it. Of course they heard the rumors. Of course they saw Rolex Passion Reporter or whatever Rolex geek passion blogs that were out there at the time. But they didn't want to do that. Rolex, at least modern Rolex, performs masterfully at dangling what you want in front of your face, giving you a wonderful product in the meantime, but dangling what you really want. And to me, that is, well, to anyone, that is so much a part of the success of Rolex as we know it. And they have the power to do it. Most brands can't do. Most brands have to give you what you want now. Otherwise, buy. But with Rolex, we pay tens of thousands of dollars settling because it's Rolex, and that's a beautiful thing. So no, I don't think the Pepsi will be released, but I do think we will see the, to most people, less desirable Coke come out in steel. Now, less desirable compared to Pepsi does not mean it's not desirable. The Coke is a beautiful, beautiful watch. I just happen to have a thing for the Pepsi. The next watch I want to talk about is, there's a couple rumors flying around, but really this one is one that I have recently, it's called in the last 6 months, developed serious passion for. It's the Rolex Gauss, a watch that is not really talked about very often. It's a watch that I see when watch geeks do buy it, it's after a lot of questioning. No one really questions buying a sub. You know, the sub is just the watch you go and that's what you want since you're a little kid and you go and buy it. But the Gauss, you know, because the prices are kind of low and because you don't see all too many in the wild, people ask around to watch geeks like, hey, do you think I should buy a Gauss? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's a very interesting watch. I don't think Rolex's modern executions of the Gauss are that wonderful. I think that the Gauss has kind of been sterilized, considering what it used to be. The Rolex Gauss used to be a very detailed and character-driven watch. And now, although a beautiful watch that I would wear in 2 seconds, it has kind of been sterilized. It's been, I think, washed in with so many of the other easy Rolex, trick playbook. You know, for example, look at the hands on the modern Gauss. They're just regular stick hands. Whereas if you look at the vintage models, you don't have that really at all. You have these wonderful, blocky, but still tapered hands that were unique to that particular model. This is the same way I feel about the Rolex Explorer II, a watch that had very unique hands at its inception with the reference 1655, and now, you know, has Mercedes hands. Now, there's nothing wrong with Mercedes hands. And I totally understand why Rolex would want to capitalize on one of the variables that makes them so distinctly Rolex. But in so many ways, it dilutes the distinct character of their individual models. So that does upset me. And because, like I said, the Gauss had such rich character, and these hands were a part of that, along with honeycomb dials and brushed steel dials, so much of that is gone now. So I would love to see not a reissue. I'm not begging like the hopeless watch geek for a reissue of a 6541, but I genuinely do think the Gauss deserves more attention by Rolex. You know, it's kind of like the ugly duckling, and there's so much potential. I would much rather own a really well executed Gauss than a Submariner. That's just my opinion. And to tie all the rumors together, there is something that seems unlikely to me, but is empirically true. In 2014, Rolex filed for a patent, which we can all see and access, for not just a chronograph, but a dual-time chronograph. Something that I don't think we've ever seen from Rolex. I think that's actually a fact. We've never seen a dual-time chronograph from Rolex. And Rolex is not a brand that we see historically introducing new, better complications. We've seen it somewhat recently with the Sky Dweller, but net, that's not Rolex's identity. So I would love to see if that patent ever comes to fruition, if that ever comes in a watch, and two, is it possible that it's taken 4 years, 2014 to now, and we're kind of sleeping right before one of the biggest releases in modern Rolex history? That's pretty exciting as a watch geek, not to normal people, but as to a watch geek, that is very exciting. So that is it, guys. I think it is abundantly clear how excited I am for or to wake up to all the Rolex Baselworld releases. If you liked this video and my thoughts, go ahead and subscribe to the Theo and Harris channel for more watch geeky content like it. And I will see you all tomorrow on In the Middle.